I don't really know why I keep telling this story. Maybe because there are nights like this one, when the wind carries whispers and the darkness feels heavier than usual. That's when I remember what happened in the old church. I was 16, living in a small village tucked away between hills and fog. You know the kind of place I mean, where everyone knows everyone, and everything seems quiet, until it's not. The Church of Saint Isidore sat abandoned atop a hill, its tower leaning, its stained glass shattered, and a crooked cross tilted downward, as if it pointed toward hell rather than heaven. The adults never talked about it. They said it was closed after part of it collapsed, but we, the village kids, knew better. One night, driven by a stupid mix of teenage bravery and pride, I accepted a dare to spend 1 hour alone inside the church. All I had to do was go in, sit on the middle pew, and wait. At midnight, I remember the gate creaking open like a groan. Inside, the air reeked of old wood dampness and something else, like rotted incense. I sat, my flashlight barely illuminating the ruined altar, cracked pews, and collapsing pulpit. But what struck me most wasn't what I saw. It was a silence. Not normal silence. It was thick, heavy, as if it swallowed every sound I made. That's when I heard it. Not a scream, not a voice. Worse, a prayer, whispered, in Latin, coming from the confessional. I thought someone had followed me in. I stood, aimed my light, but saw no one. The confessional door stood slightly open. Inside, just dust and cobwebs. But the whispering continued, like it was coming from beneath. I took a step back. The flashlight flickered and died, and then I heard footsteps, slow ones, from in front of the altar. A tall, thin figure emerged in the darkness, wearing an ancient black cassock. It had no face, or maybe it did, but it was covered in something dark, like it burned into skin. It didn't speak, didn't move quickly. It just raised one bony hand and pointed at the confessional. I ran like hell was behind me. When I got back to the village, no one really believed me, except my grandmother. She just looked at me with tired eyes and said something I'll never forget. That church isn't empty. It's waiting. No one's gone up there since. But sometimes, on nights too quiet to be normal, some say they hear church bells, even though the tower's been silent for decades. Years passed. I left the village. Like many others, I fled the city, chasing noise, lights, people. Anything to forget the echo of that Latin prayer and the ash-covered figure by the altar. But some things you don't forget, not if you've really seen them. Sometimes I'd have nightmares. Always the same. I'm back inside the church. The flashlight won't turn on. The figure is there. And this time it speaks. It says my name. And then I realize I'm not standing in the church anymore. I'm locked inside the confessional. I'd wake up soaked in sweat, with a metallic taste in my mouth. Every time I checked the clock, it was the same time, 3:03 a.m. I tried to ignore it. I stopped talking about it. I grew up, got married, had a daughter. But not long ago, I returned to the village for my mother's funeral. And my daughter, she's only 7, asked me something that froze my blood. "Daddy, why did that man in black at the tower say he'd been waiting for you?" I hadn't spoken a word about the church in over 20 years. We left that same night. But since then, sometimes I find damp dirt in her shoes. Soil like the kind from up on that hill. And once, early in the morning, I found smudged fingerprints on the bathroom mirror. Not writing, just the outline of long, thin hands. Like ash. That's why I'm telling you this. Because I don't think I have much time left. Because something that never ended has started again. And this time, it won't let me run. Because in my dreams, I'm no longer alone in confessional. Now, she is in there with me.